being here. Thank you for joining this group. Does size really matter? And I really created the group, probably actually a lot too. I'm gonna give away all my secrets on this Facebook Live. A lot of it was for me to gather information about how people are with their bodies and maybe to use that to develop something to contribute to that. So maybe like a course or a program or something. But I was like, you know, I do a lot of Access Consciousness. I'm one of the worldwide live translation coordinators. I work full time for Access, and I also use the tools of Access in my life every day. And I get a lot of people that I interact with also do a lot of Access or some Access. But there's also a lot of people out in the world that don't know about these tools and haven't yet discovered this amazing stuff that's really changed absolutely everything in my life. And one of the biggest things that it has changed and continues to change for me is my relationship with my body. So I was just mentioning to Marta, because she's in Hungary, that was the last place we were before we rushed home for, the world shutting down for COVID. It was 12 months ago, just over now. It's probably, a week or 2 weeks over 12-month mark that I've been stuck here in Australia. And one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for with COVID has been the space and the time to create something very different with my body and a bunch of other things as well. But my body is something in the last 12 months that I've, not even, a lot of it was very much through the choice of it, but a lot of it was also just this continual discovery. Like, when you find something new, like that you just so enthralled in, it's so interesting to you, like a new hobby or a new sport or something like that. And you just sort of get so excited. It's like every day is a new adventure into discovery of whatever this thing is. I think basically the last 12 months has been that adventure and discovery with my body. So it got to a point a few weeks ago where I was like, I wonder if now's the time to actually start connecting some of this with other people and talking to other people about it and seeing what I can contribute to the bodies of the world. For me, I wake up every day and ask, what can I contribute to the world today? What can I be in the world to create the world that I desire to live in? And a huge part of that for me is where I see people having a lot of conflict and dis-ease with their bodies. So this group I'm hoping is the start of a bigger creation, and really I wanted to come onto a Facebook Live and connect with you guys. So if you're on here live, or even if you're watching it afterwards, I'll keep coming back and checking the comments. Please leave a comment and let me know about anything that you're having fun with your body, that you're having not fun with your body, that you're having conflict, that you're having judgment of. And I would love to contribute to changing some of that on this earth. I was hearing Dane here talk on a class sometime last year, and he kind of got to this place of this question of like, what if we, like, for me, what if my desire was to create a life that was a gift to the world? And I guess that's been the other big thing for me for this past year, is really looking at, like, what is that for me? What would I like to contribute in this world? And if I could have this planet be any way that I wanted it to be, like my version of planet Earth, what would that look like? What would that be? And a huge part of it is for people having this amazing connection and communion with their bodies. So yeah, here we are. This is like the start of that adventure for me, sharing it with other people and looking at where I can be a contribution there for people and their bodies, and creating the body that's right for them, that's perfect for them. Because I don't know, like, wherever you are in the world right now, if you're alone, next time you're out in public or around people, look around you. Like, there's no two bodies that are remotely the same. Not even close. Even identical twins, they're so different from one another. And I think sometimes we forget that, and we start to create our bodies based on what people tell us is the way to create them. And I think we also grow up and hang around a lot of people that judge their bodies. Gary Douglas says a lot of the time, what if everything you were ever told in this lifetime was a lie? And I looked at that with bodies and I was like, What if everything we were ever told about our bodies was a lie? And what if the real gift, the real treasure is about that discovery and that self-discovery and play of finding the relationship and the body that's perfect for you? And what would that take and what would that look like? So, if you guys have any comments to leave, please do. I love questions. Questions create change. A question is where the beginning of change is. Question is the beginning of change. Question is what creates all of the change in this world. So if there's anything, you guys, that's coming up for you, whether you're watching live or later, please pop it in the comments and I'm more than happy to talk about it. So the other thing I wanted to brush over with this Facebook Live is like how much, I mean, I've been in and around a lot of different people that work with bodies. So whether it's in gyms or personal trainers or people that work on bodies as therapists, massage therapists, nutritionalists, people that have a career and a job to help people with quote unquote problems or things they want to change with their body. And the other thing I've found is not many people ask questions. Like most of the people that are here to help us with our bodies actually are much more interested in giving us an answer. So telling us if you just do this, it will create this. And that's not to say any of that is wrong, because I've actually learned a lot from people like that. And it's more just this place of acknowledging that a lot of the time people think that that's the way that we change things. We need to find the problem and solve it. We need to see what's wrong with our body in order to change it and make it right. And what I would love to do is start quashing some of that, start changing some of our points of view about how we create and change our bodies and have less conflict and less dis-ease with our body. Because wherever we have conflict and wherever we have dis-ease is where disease starts. It's where those places where you get injuries, you get sick, you get hurt. And our bodies are really just a big sensory organ. They're a constant source of information for us. So the other thing I would love to play with and to show and to I don't know, gift you guys, to impart on you, to share with you is learning to listen to your body and what it's telling you. And I'd love to share with you some tools, maybe not on this Facebook Live. I don't want to give away everything, but to start sharing with you some of the tools that I've used to get to know my body really well that I continue to. It's not like I've come to this point now where I'm like, I've got it right and everything I know about bodies is perfect, because it's not. It's like I was saying before, for me, it's this energy where I wake up every day and it's like I'm on this amazing adventure of discovery with my body. And what if life was like that? And what if everywhere you went and everything you did, it was this continual discovery and adventure, and your adventure buddy was your body? And what would it create in the world to have this constant energy and communion and relationship with your body of adventure and play? So yeah, that's what I would love to look at, to work on, to play with you guys. And I would love to get your feedback on what your points of view are about your body and what you have decided is not possible to change. I asked that in the Facebook group just recently. It was something like, what do you think is impossible with your body? And a lot of it was really simple stuff. Like, people desire to create weight loss and fitness and those things that most of the time, if you've got that, this reality will tell you you need to diet and work out. And sometimes it may involve a little bit of something around that. But what I would love to look at around those things is, what's your actual point of view about food? What is your actual point of view about exercise? Because the other amazing thing I've learned, throughout this lifetime, and especially since being introduced to the tools of Access Consciousness, is your point of view is actually what creates your reality. And your body is very much a big part of your reality. So if your point of view is, if I eat too much, I'll get fat, or if I eat certain foods, I'll get fat, or if I work out intensely, I'll get sore, or if I don't work out, I'll get fat. Like all of these points of views that you have is actually what creates your body. It's what creates everything with your body. So, what if it was way less about what you're doing with your body and way more about the energy and the points of view you have with it? So, I'd love to delve a little bit into that as well, and not necessarily on this Facebook Live, but I'd love to know from you guys, like, do you desire to have more ease with your body? Is it something where if you had some tools and tips and tricks to play with, is that something that would be fun for you? Because the other thing is, I don't want to give everyone the answers to anything. I mean, I don't have them. What's worked for me is not going to work for you. I mean, 99% of you probably aren't desiring to go into a CrossFit gym and pick up, 60, 100 kilogram barbells and do things with those. Most people, their body doesn't desire that style of exercise. Some people desire to move in nature. Some people desire to dance. Some people's bodies desire to run or to walk, or there's so many ways out there that we can play with our bodies, and it's called exercise in this reality. And exercise is like, what if it wasn't that? What if everything you've been told about your body was actually a lie? And what if now was the time to have that interaction that is the adventure and self-discovery and play with your body? So maybe a couple of tools I would leave you with on this Facebook Live, and we can keep going, but just some things to start with is, what is my point of view about food? And what is my point of view about exercise? And start like sitting with that and looking at what comes up for you. And if you're on here and you want to write something in the comments, please do. And start looking at like, okay, so if my point of view about food is this, is that actually what's showing up for me? And if it is, what if it was a matter of just starting to play with something different there? Like, what if it was just a matter of starting to change some of those points of views? And that's what I would love to contribute. If I was creating a life that was a gift to the world, I'd love to contribute to showing people some of the amazing tools that are available that can change some of this stuff. And like, I guess my biggest giveaway, my biggest secret out of all of this is, you have all the answers. It's basically like everywhere in life we go outside of ourselves to find the answer to something. Like, what if every interaction you have out in the world is a gathering of information, but you're the one that actually has the awareness, the knowledge, and the information then that's required to change anything for your body, anything at all. And that could be injury, illness, disease, weight loss, strength, flexibility, mobility, all of those things that we want to change in our lives. What if through asking questions and playing with some basic tools that you could start to get more of an awareness of what you know about your body and the things that you can change? Because there's so many people out there that are the experts on all of this stuff. And I would say talk to as many people as you can and gather information. But then what is it that you then can work on and play with and use to change absolutely everything with your body? And how many of the judgments that you have of your body aren't even yours? How many of them were you just aware of in other people from a very young age? How many of you grew up with judgmental parents and people in your lives that judge their bodies really harshly? I was, and that's not to make anyone else wrong, but it's just to be aware that a lot of the time, this stuff isn't even ours. A lot of these places where we judge ourselves is actually not even our point of view. It's not even our reality. And I mean, if I asked everyone that I came in contact with, do you desire to have more judgment of your body or less judgment of your body? Everyone's going to go for less judgment. We don't enjoy judging ourselves, but for some reason we do it a lot from the moment we wake up in the morning. Like, how many of you woke up this morning and within, I don't know, 5, 10 or 15 minutes, you already had judged your body for certain things? And if you hadn't, you're awesome. And how does it get any better than that? And what else is possible? And how can you have more of that reality throughout your day? Or how many times do you start getting around people and then you just get into these yucky places with, oh, all of a sudden I feel weird in this place, or my tummy feels like I'm all of a sudden aware that my jeans are a little bit tight today, or that, you see your reflection in a window and you're like, oh, that's not how I wanted it to look. Like, how much of that is actually your point of view, and how much are you really just aware of the incessant judgment people do of their bodies out there in the world, and how much is everyone just picking it up off everyone else? So I wonder if we could start changing some of it for ourselves, how much it would create for us, but also how much could it change for the rest of the world. Sorry, two beautiful parrots just landed on my fence outside, so they're distracting me a little bit. Like, look at nature. Look, like, wherever you can. And, it's nighttime in a lot of parts of the world, well, in all of Europe. But next time you're outside, or you can be outside, look at the trees. Look at the birds, or whatever creatures and critters you have around you. Look at the animals you have in your life. If you've got dogs or cats, they never look at themselves like, oh, Jesus, my ass is looking a little bit big today. Like, that, it's not something that the creatures of this world do, except for us. These cute little creatures that we call, us, our bodies. So what's available beyond judgment? And if you could change your points of view about some things with your body, what would that create differently for you and for the world? So that's really why I created this Facebook group. It's why I'm going to keep going with this. There's been some amazing stuff coming up in access classes lately. So we just had the 7-day last week, and some amazing stuff was coming up about, being willing to just keep going with something. When you're aware of being able to create some change in the world with something, that you've got to keep going and keep choosing it. And I think for me, what I would love is to create more connection in the world between people and their bodies, and less judgment, and more fun and adventure and play. So this Facebook group is the beginning of that for me, and I'm not sure, well, I have some sense of where I want it to go, and I'm gonna keep asking questions and keep going there. And I'm so grateful for you guys that chose to join the group. I think we're up to about maybe 120 members or something so far. So I guess to give away my secrets and let you guys know, I'd love to create some sort of mini course or program. And when I do, I'll invite you all as my VIP guests, and maybe do some sort of intro offer for you guys to join, and really start picking apart some of the stuff that I've learned that has assisted me in changing my relationship with my body, and the things that I use, the tools that I use every day to create the body that I now actually really am super grateful for. And every day we try new things and we go on new adventures together, and it's this place of what else is possible, and being in the question with my body. And there's so many brilliant people out there that are using these tools and creating this change, and I would love to be part of bringing that to the world. So yeah, so I'm just going to stop talking for a second. And it's interesting, there's 100 and something people in this group, but 9 people on the live right now. So I wonder what else is possible with that as well. How can I connect with you guys? What are you, if you could have anything out of being in this group, what would it be? And maybe I should have called the title of the Facebook Live that. If you could have absolutely anything out of being in this group of people together, what would it be? What are the things that you would love to have more ease with? What are the things you would love to change? And where can I contribute to that? And where can we also contribute to each other? And where can we be the experts? Where can we all be the leaders and the experts in our own lives with our bodies, and knowing what's required to create whatever it is we want to create with them? So that's it. I mean, I don't want to, I don't desire to just sit here and babble on forever. I really just wanted to come on and connect with you guys. So if you're watching this in the future, please leave some comments and let me know. If you could have anything with your body, if you could have anything with this group, what would it be? What are the things, what are the top 3 things you would love to change with your body? And the other questions I had are, what are your points of view about food? And what are your points of view about exercise? So thank you for the people that were on live. I adore you. And thank you everyone for being in this group, whether you're here to get answers or ask questions, or like, what if nothing was wrong? And what if everything was just an adventure, a discovery, and a play? So I'm going to end the live now, and I look forward to creating and interacting with you guys in the future. Bye, everyone.